AEW Dynamite recap with Drip King Jimmy Bebe, and I'm here coming off a fantastic episode of Dynamite, delivered on all fronts, and it didn't even depend on the debuts and the big announcements. It was just a great episode, so we're just gonna jump right into it. The show starting off magnificently. I was bummed last week when I thought the MJF CM Punk thing was over because it was such a great story they were telling. The feud was fantastic. It's what AEW needs more of, is more feuds like that that really captivate the audience. The show starts off though with Wardlow coming out with some cutouts of MJF doing things to Punk. Obviously they're doing a celebration. They got the Burberry rampway for MJF to come out on. After Wardlow sets up, they get FTR and Tully introduction. They come out, they're dressed to the nine, drinking champagne. Then the chairman, Sean Spears, gets himself an introduction. He comes out with the Burberry chair, having a grand old time. He hands Justin Roberts a sheet to read off of. MJF gets this fantastic, grand, just to the T, fantastic intro. And then out comes MJF, and they're carrying him out on a white throne. He comes into the ring. He makes out with one of the girls that let him out. A little too graphic. My son was like, "Ooh!" It was wild. It was wild. MJF, he's just living his best life though. He gets in and he starts talking about how he beat Punk twice. He couldn't have done it without his boy. You see Wardlow stepping up like, "Oh, I'm about to get my recognition." And he goes, "Sean Spears," and Wardlow's like. They teasing it some more. Just great storytelling they're doing there, just with little things like that. Then out of nowhere, out comes Punk. Just no music, nothing. He just walks out on the ramp talking about, "I want my rematch." What's with Wardlow? He wouldn't have won. Then he starts kind of giving Wardlow the ammunition to leave him, and it was just good the way he was wording it to him. You see Wardlow kind of like listening, going, maybe. And then out comes Darby and Sting, because Punk's like, "I got backup. You got your numbers game, and I'm sick and tired of it." So he got his backup. They come out. They all got bats. Punk says, "Either you're gonna give me my rematch, or I'm gonna come beat it out of you." MJF's like, whoa, and then they have a little back and forth in which Punk says, "I just want my rematch." MJF's, "You can have your rematch if you can beat FTR, but you can't have either one of those dipshits as your tag team partner." So Punk has to find a new tag team partner, and MJF proud of himself because he's like, "There's no way he's gonna find me. Thank you for continuing this feud. It needs to go into Revolution. We need to get something, cage match, just something between these two, because it's just been too good to end right now. This can go on another month because that's how good these guys are." So I'm excited for that. Revolution has its first marquee matchup, not official, just what I think, the first official match for Revolution. And it's about time they start building for it. So good job with that. The open segment was great. They go to the back and you got Andrade. He's doing the whole Darby thing where he's trying to get him to work for him still. Sting was there and he's like, he doesn't work for me. That's not how this operates. And then Darby's like, "I'm never going to work for you." And Andre's like, "Yes, you will. You are TNT champion. I want to be TNT champion." Not really sure how that works, but they're really still trying with Andrade. I give them props for that. Hopefully this is something that sticks. It's interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes. And a Darby Allin Andrade match would actually be really fun. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this whole thing. I'm looking forward to where this leads to. From there, we get Blade Wardlow. Blade, he attacks him before the match even starts, so that buys him some time. This match lasts a little bit longer than we're used to with Wardlow. But eventually Wardlow gets the Powerbomb Symphony and gets the 1, 2, 3. Sean Spears comes in, gets his chair shot at the end. That's that. Wardlow incredibly over. They are just waiting for this man to turn. They are wanting to cheer this man. The reaction he's gonna get as a babyface is just, I can't fathom how great it's going to be. They're doing a magnificent job building this man. To hell with it, what anyone says about what AEW does right and wrong. They're doing this perfectly with Wardlow, and I can't wait to see the end product of it, because this man has a huge, bright future in professional wrestling. After that, we go to commercial, and it leads to a Penta video where he's talking about the mist from Malachi. He's brought out something else in him. Very vague storytelling with it, but I guess he pulled out an old mask. I'm not that familiar with his history, but we'll see where this goes. Penta, Malachi Black. I'm not mad at that. That's probably another Revolution match, and I can't be mad at that. That's going to be good. I look forward to that. From there, we get the Inner Circle meeting. This is probably the worst part of the show for me, just because it dragged on too long, but Santana had his moments. He out-promoed the influencer Chris Jericho, so that was cool. They basically said they're done with Inner Circle. Sammy Guevara got involved at one point, trying to say, hey guys, we're friends, we're family, and then Chris Jericho told Sammy to shut up, and Sammy's like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. I'm a champion. I want to be best champion in the world. I'm done. Y'all figure this out, or I'm done with the Inner Circle. And he left. And then Ortiz challenged Jericho and Hager next week to a tag team match, because where he's from, they don't do this to settle their differences. They use this. I liked it. I think Santana and Ortiz looked like absolute stars tonight in this, and I give Jericho props. As much as it always seems like it's about him, he's getting these guys over with this whole thing. And as long as Santana and Ortiz go over, job well done, Chris. Good segment, just needed to be shorter, much shorter. It went on too long. After that, we get a Roppongi Vice interview in the back. Young Bucks come to interrupt it, and they're doing this nonsense, blah, blah, and then Adam Cole comes behind, low blow, attack, low blow, he hits the knee, and then they stop, they go, whoa, what's this? Here comes Jay White. Pop. That's your Forbidden Door person, number 1 tonight. He walks over to the guys. Young Bucks are kind of like, what's going on? He ends up picking up Trent, throws him into the truck trailer, and then kind of walks off. Adam Cole smirking. He's happy. Bucks still a little bit confused. Commercial. Come back. We get Isaiah Cassidy, which means the other surprise for the night is coming out, and it's just as we all expected. Keith Lee. And I must give the props to the fans in Atlantic City. You made that man feel welcome. The reaction he got from coming out was overwhelming. It was great. It reminded me of his debut at Survivor Series. Much deserved for Keith Lee as a performer, because he is so good, and he's one of the few WWE I kind of think missed their opportunity with when they didn't capitalize on that Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. But that's for another time. We ain't gonna talk about that. He came out, and you could tell he had some pent up, because he threw Cassie clear across the ring, 10 feet in the air. It was a sight to see. It was fantastic. I feel like the match went along a little too long for a debut on Keith Lee, but he gets the win and then ends up taking out both the members of Private Party at the end. Matt Hardy ends up leaving halfway through the match, because he said if they don't win this, then things need to change. Jeff Hardy's coming. That's going to be the change. We're getting the Hardy Boys. Whatever. Don't really care about that. That's speculation, though. We'll revisit that in a few weeks. After that, we get a Britt Baker, Mercedes, Thunder Rosa package video where they hype up the match next week. Britt's talking about she paid for Mercedes to come in and take out Thunder. And now next week, Mercedes and Thunder have a no disqualification match. That should be fun. You're going to see some brutality between these two, because they're both brutal females. I look forward to it. I like that they're putting some effort into the women's division. As I said, I feel like it's been getting better, and this is just further proof. Even though it's revolved around the women's title, it doesn't involve the women's title directly, so I like that. Commercial break, come back. We get an FTR versus Punk and his mystery opponent, or his mystery partner, Mr. Partner, match of the night. Out comes Jon Moxley. Crowd goes wild. Just a fantastic match. I think it goes through 2 segments, maybe 3. Not a minute of this, not a second of this match was bad. People gonna say there was a few little botches. Wrestling's not supposed to be clean. Little botches like that are completely fine. They're supposed to go with what the battle is. It shows the exhaustion. I like the little botches we see in this match. Nothing wrong with them. We got a Doomsday device from Punk and Mox on Dax. That was awesome. At one point, Cash hits Punk with the ring bell on a roll-up attempt, And 1-2, Punk kicks out. This shows his determination to get his hands back on that pesky MJF. So that was good. Tully gets involved at one point with his jacket. He starts whipping CM Punk with it when he's got the Anaconda Vice on. So Punk gets up, and you guessed it, GTS on Tully Blanchard. Pop me, hell yeah, get that old man out the ring. Then it ends up with when Punk ends up hitting the GTS as Moxley hits his double arm DDT at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Punk gets his rematch against MJF, probably at Revolution. So that's 3 matches I feel like they've set up tonight for Revolution. Good job. Not to mention the Thunder and Britt one that's probably going to happen. Revolution is shaping up to be a fantastic show. That's if my speculations are right, though. We don't know for sure on any of them, but I feel like it's pretty easy to see what's going. After that, we got AQA, I think of what her name was. I'm not 100% sure, against Jade Cargill. Jade clearly wins. It's about time we saw the TBS title defended on TBS. My opinion, the match went on too long. Jade should be booked as a monster. Having her go the distance with these girls that aren't well known, they're not up the card, it kinda devalues that monster that she is. They need to make these matches shorter. I know they wanted to get better because she's green, but don't do it with people like this. No disrespect to AQA, but no, don't do that. But again, Jade wins, obviously. Not a bad match at all. It's one of her better outings with the long matches. After that, we get the Cole and Young Bucks in the back in a promo, and they're talking about the Roppongi Vice match on Rampage. But then the Bucks turn to Cole and says, hey man, next time you're going to do something like that, let us know you're bringing in Jay White, because him and Omega, they ain't really seeing eye to eye lately. And Adam Cole's like, hey, don't worry about it. You just gotta trust me. Now I gotta go take care of something. And he leaves them. Bucks are kind of like, all right. I like it. They're building the tension up more. I cannot wait for this whole situation to really unfold. It's gonna be so good. You're adding Jay White to it now, so now it's like, okay, instead of 3 and 4 and 4, what, like, it's gonna be good. I'm super excited with what they're going with it. You should be too, because damn it, it's just awesome stuff to be seeing right now. On to the next part though. Sabrina Deeb getting her 5-minute rookie challenge. That's 2 women's matches back to back, even though this next one really isn't a match because she destroys this girl. Didn't even catch her name. It's a segment they're gonna be doing with Sabrina Deeb, which I'm pumped for because we need more Sabrina Deeb in our life. She's basically out there letting people know nobody's on her level. They can't compete with her. Nobody in that locker room can touch her. And she's out there to just make people look stupid. And that's exactly what she did to Homegirl. She stretched her. She tapped out. It was like a minute long. Like a SmackDown women's match is what it felt like. Don't take that as an attack though. My bad. Now, so I'm a Sabrina Deeb person, so I like to see this. It's good. More of it. I feel like we're going to see a lot of this until Hikaru Shida comes back to get that blow-off match between those two. I'm all for it. Bring it on. Main event time, Lance Archer, Hangman Page. Brutal match. It starts before they even do their entrances. Hangman's just beating them up in the back. He brings them out, throws them through a glass pane. Match starts. Lance Archer's bleeding now. He comes out. They go out to the ring. Dan Lambert makes his way out there because Hangman hits a buckshot layer right out the gate, but it doesn't take out Archer. So after that, they start fighting in the crowd. While this happened, out comes Dan Lambert, and he takes down the top rope so that he can no longer do the buckshot lariat. I like this. It was very interesting to add to this match. When they got back, Hangman goes to grab the top rope to pull himself in, notices it's wrong, sells it beautifully. Good. Just little things like that are so good. The main spots in this, I'll say, Hangman Page bleeds way too much. I'm not sure where he cut himself, but man, by the end of this match, he looked like Mick Foley in Japan, man. It was so bad. Lance Archer, not as much. We got to see a Jake the Snake short arm clothesline on Adam Page. It was beautiful. Then he was amped up. He's got the adrenaline pumped through. He tried to go for the DDT, and Lance had to like, yo, back up, old man. So Lance Archer playing full-time heel there, depriving us of the Jake the Snake DDT. That's messed up, Lance. But I forgive you. It is what it is. That's the way she goes. After that, more things we saw. He ends up choke slamming Adam Page. He gets him up there, man. The height was just ridiculous, and slams him down through the trash can. He takes a fork in his hand and starts stabbing Hangman Page, and the gruesome stuff. He sets up the steel steps on the outside, goes on the apron, and he hits the blackout from the apron onto the steel steps. Page just bounces off him. It was brutal looking. My only issue is I don't like people taking bumps like that because it's so scary. But within like 15 seconds, Hangman Page was up and ready to go again. Kind of not selling it the way he should have been. But it's a death match, whatever. This is all about gore and violence. He wrapped the barbed wire around his arm, started forearming him. And then at one point, Lance Archer had 2 tables set up on the outside, and he was over on the ropes near those, trying to compose himself. The referee was bent over to pick up the barbed wire or something like that, and then Adam Page used the referee to kickstart the buckshot lariat, and he takes Archer over the middle rope, down and through the tables. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He slides in the ring. Archer still out from the buckshot through the table. 10. Adam Page wins by count out. Brutal match. The blood was just insane. And then story time with Jimmy Baby. For all you people out there who've been shitting on my man Adam Cole, talking about they're misusing him. He looks so ridiculous in AEW. They're burying him. He would be better off in WWE. Well, guess what happens when Hangman Adam Page is out there celebrating his win, just escaping death from Lance Archer. It's all about the boom. Out comes Adam Cole. He grabs the AEW title, hands it to Hangman Page to say, I'm coming for it, baby. That's the show. Again, from beginning to end, fantastic episode. They're setting up Revolution so nicely. And I like that they didn't start it a month ago and drag things out, except for the Punk MJF thing, which is perfectly understandable because it's just so good. But yeah, I can't say enough about this episode of Dynamite. It's a fun episode. The Punk Mox vs. FTR match is what professional wrestling is all about. If you're not enjoying it at this point, what do you want? What's wrong with y'all if y'all not enjoying this? Like, for real. I know every episode's not good. I know Tony talks too much. But man, enjoy what they're giving you, especially on nights like this, because it was just so good. I was happy to be a wrestling fan tonight. And I really hope this is the kind of shows they are giving us from here, at least to Revolution. Because I'm sold on the pay-per-view. I don't even know a match that's officially in ink yet. I just have ideas. They seem to be clear cut, and it's just going to be a good show. And if it can match the energy of what we're getting from last night's episode of Dynamite, thank you. That's all I ask for. I'm running on babbling nonsense. I'm stumbling over my words here. I just want people to understand that this Dynamite was really, really good, and this is what professional wrestling should be. So stop with the tribalism, stop with this, well, I'm WWE, but enjoy professional wrestling. To me, this episode of Dynamite was more like a WWE show than any other Dynamite show I've seen in quite some time, and I feel like that combination of what they like to do and what WWE does well is exactly where Dynamite or AEW needs to be successful. And if they can keep doing stuff like tonight, they will grow. This is what they've been needing to do. That's how highly I am rating this episode of Dynamite. So I appreciate you watching this recap. You should definitely be checking out the show though. Not much to skip through. Swear. I just spent more time on this recap than I did Raw. Raw's 3 hours. I saved you 1 hour and 41 minutes because I'm running up on 19. But again, if you have the time, just go watch it because it's a great show. But that's all I'm going to say. So thank you for watching. Hit the like button. One over there. I don't know. Subscribe to Wrestlebuddy. Subscribe to the Drip King Jimmy Bebe. And get ready for my announcement on my next giveaway. Because you're not going to want to miss it after a Dynamite like this. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm excited about this. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you on Tuesday for the Raw recap. And that's it. So goodbye. Boom.